Good morning and welcome to today's Dashcam Diary of a Disabled, starring me, chronically happy. I am barely awake and I am headed to my internal medicine doctor to discuss my patch medication. I think it's too high of a dosage. It's affecting my numbers on my labs. It's causing me bruising. It's causing me like a lot of nausea, which is a very common side effect, I suppose, from the couple of places I looked up. Some website had said as up to 50% of people experience nausea with this. I definitely did. Usually I experience nausea if I have too much of something in my body. That's your body's signaling system of signs saying, hey, there's something that's a little off here. It's these subtle signs that we dismiss every single day in our bodies as nothing, because we do not want to accept that there's something that's off and that we have to go see a doctor, because doctors are no fun to go to. All they do is cost you money. And then the medication, if they give you anything, costs money. And then a lot of the time they're effing wrong. You are the expert in your body, not the doctor. It's up to you to decide what you listen to in your body or not. It matters. You matter. So I'm just trying to reiterate that to y'all. Listen to your body. It's trying to tell you things. Not think so, and you want to push it aside because it's not pleasant to deal with. Like I said, the financial aspects of it, and then the mental aspects of it, because if the doctor doesn't believe you, what you experience, then they're gaslighting you, and then that's bad on your mental health. It doesn't help any trauma later on down the road. Just saying. Just saying. Excuse me, I am having major sinus drainage since I did my sinus rinse this morning. It was needed though. I'm like congested more with this medication. There's just a lot of side effects, and it's up to me whether I want to deal with those side effects or not. I am glad that my pain is gone for the most part. It's not gone 100%, never will be, but it's like manageable. I can actually ignore it really a lot of the time, like except for when I'm doing the action, and it's usually repetitive motions or being in one position for too long. My body don't like that, because the EDS is unstable and it's going to shift and move as much as I do. So I have to be really mindful of how I stand and position myself while I'm doing anything in life, just living really. I have to pay attention to my body, and I can't just brush it aside. Wish I could, but when you get to be this sensitive to everything in life, I've got to find ways to adapt and feel more comfortable in my own body, even though I identify as alien. I sent that in another Facebook Messenger group today. I was like, I identify as alien. I got one laugh. I don't know how many people are in that chat. I don't know how many people are active. It doesn't matter. At least I got one laugh. Because I feel like people need to learn humility and have humor in life. Trying to take this stuff seriously all the time, it really gets to a person's mental health. always going to be with us for all of our lives. It's up to us to really like embrace our trauma and understand our trauma and learn from that trauma so you can move forward, hopefully in a happier, more peaceful peace of mind, because you've allowed yourself to heal from whatever trauma you've experienced. And boy, have I experienced it a lot. I almost consider myself an expert witness to PTSD many a times over. I'm complex. As with the human body is complex as well. I cannot speak it this morning. I haven't seriously taken any of my meds yet. I brought them with me, but also so I could show the doctor. I tried to dispose of the medication properly. I don't know how, but I will dispose of it in the office today because they have proper receptacles. And I just don't want any chance of my dog getting into the garbage. Even though she never has. She's been tempted with certain things to put into garbages. However, I don't want to take any chances. It's a deadly medication for animals or children. There's no children in our house, so we don't have to really worry about that. I really hope the doctor will lower my dose today because I just don't like these side effects. I don't know if it's really going to mess with the rest of my body. And I feel like it is. But like my gut is telling me it's going to. And that I think it's just trying to tell me I need to lower it. I just need to lower it and see how that goes. I feel like people would, in this situation, maybe be asking to increase it. I don't know. But if I were a true addict, I'd maybe be like, hey, increase this. But I'm not. I've become dependent on medication my body has. And I can tell when it has. I've been through this many a times over. On and off again pain medication. Ever since I became disabled at the age of 28. It's so young. It's so young. I mean, I can't necessarily blame the doctors, but it is a form of gaslighting. And where my trauma really began, when doctors kept telling me, you're too young to be disabled. And that was the most frustrating thing to hear over and over again when I first got out of the service at age 30. You're too young to be disabled. Look, motherfucker. My mother trucker. This body has been through a lot, mentally and physically. It only makes sense that it decided to break down earlier in life with my genetic predispositions. Gosh, my eye is puffy today. Look at that. Looks like I have a black eye again. I have a shiner. My sleep beat me up last night. And it doesn't really like makeup, and I had makeup on yesterday, and I keep forgetting I don't have any makeup wipes to get makeup off because I don't wear makeup that often at all. It's something that slips my mind all the time when I'm shopping. I'm usually shopping for a purpose, and then I get sidetracked with my ADHD and my impulse buys with my executive dysfunction. I use a lot of medical terminology, and that was another thing that this doctor that I'm seeing today had made a remark on at my first and last appointment. He's like, did you learn this from Dr. Guggenheim? I'm like, no, I learned it because I got a bachelor's degree in college, and I use my college access email to get into peer-reviewed research, journals, articles, and information frustrated with her only way of thinking. And so that was hard. Especially in my teenage years. I pushed my mom's envelope as much as I could. And that's when I became a troll too, an internet troll at times. That's where I learned it. I went on the internet a lot with the AOL, and I was in like forums, chat groups and stuff, talking to people all over the US. I got catfished by some dude one time too, even. I wasn't dating him or anything. It wasn't anything like that. But at least the pedo decided to fess up. So that's good. I got somebody to fess up and like tell me that they catfished me. And I'm like, oh. It's because I was too smart and I was going to figure it out anyway. So I was too smart for a catfish. And then I was actually just revisiting speaking of pedos, trigger warning, I actually in college I got to know a pedo sex trafficker unknowingly. And I don't know why I didn't freaking put two to two together. I was just being oblivious in the beginning years of my college. I guess I'd never really, I try to see the best in people. But I am too smart and I will figure it out eventually, because I will catch some lies. And if I would have paid attention to all the signs, I could have totally seen the red flags. I am now that much smarter because of this experience, though. But I thought the dude was pulling my leg. I seriously doubted him when he told me certain things. I was like, you're pulling my leg. No, he didn't. But he did inadvertently try telling me that he was into some bad stuff. I think back now when I went back and read the story about how he got busted, because so when I was in college, this is how I met this dude. I was in weight training class, and I've gotten better at like trying to make friends with people in college as an adult. I went back at age 32 to college to start my degree in forestry. So I started off at community college to get an Associates of Arts transfer degree. So I did that, which actually really helped me balance out my degree by getting an Associates of Arts, and then I got a Bachelor's of Science. So I thought that was pretty cool. I started off, like I said, in weight training class. I met this dude, Jason, and then I met this dude, Russ. It looked like they were partnering together and spotting each other, and I didn't have a spotter, and so I just walked up to them. They seemed friendly enough. I had to observe the class for a little bit before I decided who to approach, to be like, hey, let's work out together. Being one of the only like 3 or 4 females out of like 25 dudes in the weight training class, like, I wanted to work out. What can I say? And it doesn't hurt that, there's people in weight training. That's how I met 2 of my boyfriends now, ex-boyfriends. Weight training class in college. So anyways, so I saw these 2 dudes working out together. I was like, they seemed approachable and nice. Jason and Russ. And I started hanging out with Jason first outside of class. We were playing Zombies, Black Ops 2, but I was really trying to get like some real good, well-balanced workouts with a spotter, because that's been my thing ever since I found out I had EDS anyways. But I knew back then in weight training, I was like, posture means everything. Jason really taught me that. Like, he was really good at working out. He really sounded like he knew what he was talking about. He was basically a personal trainer for a lot of people. But he made money by doing odds and ends. And I always thought it was weird. He would talk about this lady over in Europe. And I do recall now, it just popped in my head right now, he did mention stuff about BDSM stuff. If you don't know what that is, look that up, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. I hope that you do by now. And I hope that you're adults watching me and not children. That's why I say the video is not made for kids. I do talk about some stuff, and I try my best to avoid saying certain things to avoid the YouTube algorithm want to not promote me because as a YouTube rising star creator. I want to make sure I don't get, into trouble. I want to make sure I'm erring on the side of caution. I'm not going to just discuss what that means. So I don't want to discuss what that means. That's besides the point. I want to get to my story, and I'm almost to my appointment. So I'm a mile and a half away. I have to talk about my story. So he hung out with him. I played zombies, and he would show me workouts and stuff. He never once tried to do anything to coerce me. He did not try to do anything to me that was inappropriate. He was always a gentleman to me. So that's, and I think I even brought it up at one point. I was like, I didn't do anything, are you? I even stayed the night in this dude's bed with him. Nothing ever happened, thankfully. I'm so glad. And I think it's because he got to know me, and he knew that his coercion would not work with me. I wouldn't put up with stuff. I was onto him, but I wasn't onto him at all. I had no idea that this guy was a predator the way that he is. And I don't feel bad for calling him out. Jason Tyson is a predator, and he deserves to be locked away. And I think he's actually out now, but he deserved every bit of being put away. And he needs to stay put away, honestly. I don't think this man should be out and about. I think he needs to be locked away so he doesn't do this to anybody else. He's been let in and out of charges multiple times. Well, anyways, so I actually ended up dating Russ. I did not do anything with Jason. Like I said, I hung out with Jason first, and then I hung out with Russ. Russ was a lot younger than me. He was 12 years younger than me at the time. It was quite the inappropriate relationship now. I really do think that. I'm glad that his mom was kind of a B-word to me. Things just wouldn't have worked out. And then, I realize it now, after the relationship, upon reflecting upon it, he was my longest relationship I've ever been in. So, he was the kindest, and I hope that, I really didn't cause him too much trauma. I was not the kindest of people. I was in the throes of, not understanding my back issues. I was in the throes of, major pill dependence. And, I just didn't understand how much it really did affect me and my relationships with people around me at the time. I was heavily into the narcotics because it was the only way that relieved my pain. It wasn't because I liked to get high, because that didn't even happen because of the dependence. But yeah, it was a bad thing to be on the long term. And I understand that and appreciate that my doctors, tried after gaslighting me for a long time. And I ended up firing those doctors. But anyways, besides the point, this Jason is a predator. And I'm glad that he got locked away for a short amount of time, but he needs to get back. I don't know where he is now. I'm hoping he moved out of the area and he's not doing this to anybody else, but he's a repeat offender. I'm pretty sure he just needs to be locked away. get in there and checked in. So I've got to go. I don't know how to get to the right parking lot to this place. All I know is I park on the wrong side every time right now. I'll figure it out at some point. Love you all. Keep smiling, and yeah, watch out for people out there. There's some bad news people. Peace out.